The brand that doesn't sell cars, it sells access to people walk into a Ferrari showroom, same city, same dealer, same money. One leaves with the keys to a brand new Ferrari, the other leaves with a handshake and absolutely nothing. Not because he couldn't afford the car, because Ferrari decided he wasn't the right person to own it. And that sounds insane. Until you understand how Ferrari actually works, because Ferrari is not built like other car companies. At the lower levels, you buy the car. At the highest levels, Ferrari buys into you, your history, your loyalty, your image, your relationship with the brand. And the deeper you go into Ferrari's world, the less this becomes about horsepower, and the more it becomes about status, access, and exclusivity. So today, we're breaking down the 7 levels of Ferrari. From the entry-level Ferrari almost anyone wealthy can buy, all the way to the million-dollar hypercars so exclusive that even billionaires get rejected. This is the hidden hierarchy of Ferrari. Welcome back to Porsche Dude. This is not a brochure review channel. This is where we break down how the automotive world actually works behind the scenes. And, trust me, no brand plays the game better than Ferrari. So let's start at level 1. Level 1, the Airy Point Ferrari Roma. This is the Ferrari for people who never thought they wanted a Ferrari. The Ferrari Roma, starting around $250,000, twin-turbo V8,612 horsepower to 60 in just over 3 seconds. On paper, this thing is already absurdly fast, but inside Ferrari's ecosystem, this is the bottom step of the ladder, and that's exactly why the Roma exists. See, traditional Ferraris are loud, aggressive, dramatic. Mid-engine monsters designed to scream for attention, the Roma does the opposite. Long hood, elegant lines, minimalist interior. It looks more like something an old money CEO would drive through Monaco at midnight than a track weapon trying to break lap records. And Ferrari built it this way intentionally because the Roma is not designed to scare buyers. It's designed to welcome them. This is Ferrari opening the gates just enough to expand the brand without damaging exclusivity. And here's the important part most people miss. Ferrari doesn't really care if you stop at the Roma. What they care about is whether you continue climbing, because Ferrari ownership works almost like a loyalty program for the ultra-rich. Buy 1 Ferrari, and suddenly the dealer remembers your name. Buy 3, and now you're getting private calls before launches. Buy enough, and Ferrari starts treating you less like a customer and more like a member. And the Roma? That's where the membership begins. Level 2, the money machine Ferrari. Purosangue. For decades, Ferrari publicly said one thing over and over again: we will never build an SUV. Then Lamborghini launched the Urus. Porsche kept printing money with the Cayenne. And suddenly Ferrari realized something. Luxury buyers don't just want supercars anymore. They want daily drivability with supercar status. So Ferrari did what every luxury brand eventually does. They followed the money. Enter the Ferrari Purosangue. Ferrari refuses to call it an SUV, which honestly tells you everything, because technically, yes, it has 4 doors. Yes, it sits higher. Yes, families can actually use it. But Ferrari knew the second they called it an SUV, the internet would lose its mind. So instead, they positioned it as something completely different. Starting around $400,000 before options, naturally aspirated V12.7 horsepower. And somehow, this family Ferrari still sounds like a Formula 1 car escaping prison. But the real genius is not the engine, it's the production strategy. Most brands flood the market when demand explodes. Ferrari did the opposite. They capped Purosangue production to protect exclusivity, which means demand stays higher than supply, which means resale values stay insane, which means wealthy buyers feel safer spending $500,000. And this right here is Ferrari's superpower. They don't just build cars, they engineer airskillity. Level 3, the future Ferrari 296 GTB. This is where Ferrari stopped listening to purists and started chasing performance at all costs. The Ferrari 296 GTB, twin-turbo V6 hybrid, over 800 horsepower, and yes, a V6 Ferrari. When Ferrari announced this car, enthusiasts lost their minds, because for decades, Ferrari engines were defined by one thing: the sound, the drama, the emotion of a screaming V8 or V12. And now, a hybrid V6? People thought Ferrari had lost its soul. Then the reviews came out, and suddenly everybody got quiet. because the 290T6 is brutally fast. The electric motor eliminates turbo lag instantly, the chassis is sharper, the transitions are cleaner, and on a real road or racetrack. This thing humiliates older Ferraris, which created a strange problem for Ferrari. The newer car became objectively better, but emotionally different. And that's the moment Ferrari entered a completely new era, because the 296 is not built to preserve tradition. It's built to dominate the future. Level 4, the last of the Legends Ferrari 12 Cilindri. Now we arrive at something special, the Ferrari 12 Cilindri. And honestly, this car feels less like a product and more like a goodbye letter, naturally aspirated V12. No hybrid system, no fake emotion generated by software, just 12 cylinders screaming into the night the way Ferraris used to. And Ferrari knows exactly what this car represents, because deep down, they know this era is ending. Governments are tightening emissions laws, electrification is taking over, turbocharged hybrids are becoming unavoidable, which means cars like this, they're becoming extinct. And Ferrari understands something most companies don't. The end of an era is incredibly profitable because wealthy collectors don't just buy performance, they buy significance. And that's why the 12 Cilindri matters. Not because it's the fastest Ferrari, the 296 is quicker in many situations, but because this might be one of the last truly old-school V12 Ferraris ever built. This is automotive nostalgia, monetized at perfection. Level 5, the Allocation Club SF90 and XSX. Now things change completely, because Level 5 is where Ferrari stops selling freely available cars and starts controlling access. The SF90 already costs over $500,000 loaded properly, nearly 1,000 horsepower, 3 electric motors out to 60 in about 2 seconds. This thing accelerates so violently, it genuinely rewires your understanding of speed. But the real story is the SF90XX, because you cannot simply walk into a Ferrari dealership and order one. That's not how this works anymore. At this level, Ferrari starts evaluating you. How many Ferraris have you bought? How long have you been with the brand? Do you flip cars for profit? Do you represent Ferrari the way Ferrari wants to be represented? And yes, Ferrari absolutely watches this stuff, because exclusivity only works if the club stays controlled. So now, the buyer is no longer interviewing the car. The brand is interviewing the buyer, and once you reach this level, getting approved becomes part of the flex. Level 6, the collector tier, the Icona series. Now we enter Ferrari's inner circle, the Icona series, cars like the Monza SP1, the Monza SP2, the Daytona SP3. These are not normal production cars. These are rolling pieces of Ferrari mythology, multi-million-dollar machines inspired by Ferrari's racing history, limited production, hand-selected buyers, massive appreciation values. And here's the crazy part. Money alone still isn't enough. You could walk into Ferrari tomorrow worth $1 billion and still not get offered one, because Ferrari does not want random wealthy people. They want loyal collectors, people who have spent years building relationships with dealers, people who already own multiple Ferraris, people who understand Ferrari culture. The Icona series is Ferrari rewarding its most valuable clients with something the outside world can't easily access, and psychologically, that makes these cars even more desirable, because humans always want what feels impossible to get. Ferrari mastered that decades ago. Level 7, the Hypercar throne, LaFerrari Enzo, the future Hypercars. This is the top of the pyramid, the Enzo, the LaFerrari Aperta, and eventually, whatever Ferrari builds next. These are not just hypercars. They are status symbols inside a status symbol, limited production, factory invitations, private unveilings in Italy. Executives personally involved in allocations. At this level, Ferrari ownership becomes almost political, because these cars are not sold publicly. They are assigned, and receiving one tells the entire collector world something very specific. You made it. You are now part of Ferrari history itself. And the wild part? Many of these cars barely get driven. They live inside climate-controlled garages. They appear at concours events. They appreciate like rare art, because at this level, the car is almost secondary. The allocation is the real product. That's what Ferrari perfected better than any automaker on Earth. Not horsepower, not design, not speed, exclusivity. The real truth about Ferrari: people think Ferrari is a car company. It's not. It's an access economy disguised as an automotive brand. The Roma gets you through the front door. The Purosangue prints money. The 296 defines the future. The 12 Cilindri preserves the past. The SF90 tests your loyalty. The Icona series rewards obsession. And the Hypercars? Those confirm your place at the top of Ferrari's social hierarchy. That's why Ferrari remains untouchable. Because other brands sell cars, Ferrari sells belonging. And once people get a taste of belonging to something exclusive, they'll spend almost anything to stay inside the club. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Porsche Dude, because here, we don't just talk about cars. We talk about power, psychology, money, and the hidden systems behind the automotive world. I'll see you in the next one.